I welcome you to another exciting moment of that show you've been waiting for. Not religious, but reality. That show where we dredge on topical issues that unveils the reality about life. The reality about our existence, why we are here, what we are here for, and how to fulfill purpose. And by God's grace, I'm still your host on this show. I'm busy and I'm Shiji. But on today's show, there is this dicey topic I'm about to treat. Based on today's topic, why education is a language, why English is a language, and why what some other chooses to do is also a language. Today, we are going to dig deep as we move into today's show fully. You get where I'm going, and I'm very sure that you will join me in this ride, and at the end of the trip you'll be glad at what we both achieve. Let me go on this quick short break. Stick around, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Thanks for being there. You all agree with me, largely, education is in two forms. There are formal and informal education. Formal education is whereby the Western way of doing things, or should I be the most civilized way of doing things at this present time. The culture and the overall of some large number of people, the way they eat, the way they dress, the way they do things, we can see them as the elite or the educated ones in the society. While informal education is those education that were given to us, that we were nurtured with while growing up in our formative years. It can actually be our ways and culture, our cultural behavior, the way we do things, our environment, and so on and so forth. When you speak this formal education in the midst of those who doesn't understand that language, they look at you as a clown, yes or no, simply because they don't understand your language. It's not because you've been hated or something attached to it. No, it's just that you are speaking this language in a different environment. Now listen, most speaking English nation, it's either they were colonized by the British or it was chosen as a means of communication for so or many reasons. But to those who believe if you can't speak this English or you can't read and write, you are a fool. I'm here to convince you today that it's a big lie. Haven't you seen we have a lot of educated illiterates? We have them all over. The way they do things, it will baffle you. You'll be imagining if at all they went through school. But as the case may be, there are other countries like China who never bow for these British speaking languages. Not because they are not colonized by them, but because they believe keenly in their mother's tongue as means of communication, and it works for them. That is one language which they understand fluently. We can see China today, they are doing well compared to other nations. Now, to buttress my point, if you want to move from one environment to another environment, there are ways we need to put into consideration. Probably, what are the do's and don'ts at which you plan to go to? What is their means of transportation? That is one other aspect one should be aware of. What are their kinds of dress? This is also another part or angle to which you should be considered of. A lot of things like that should be checked or be put in place before embarking on such journey. Otherwise, you go and speak a language in a different environment. It's like someone who is conversant in his or her language but is moving for a journey on an island where they don't understand what he or she speaks. Definitely that fellow must be in need of an interpreter. Hope you get me. Besides, don't misinterpret me. I'm not saying education or Western education is bad, but I'm only trying to elucidate, saying you can still be a better person if you don't have the privilege of going to school due to one or two reasons. The era where people looked at themselves as a fool or as a non-entity based on they don't have this civil education is gone. Different people walk into the market for different purposes. Besides, you communicate. Don't forget, when you move around, you notice when you be able to talk with any merchant or whoever is in charge of selling the stuff you tend to get. If they don't understand their language, definitely you look for an interpreter simply because you want to get that stuff out of the market. It's either you want to sell market or you want to buy. It happens like that. In every man, in every human being, there is this thing deposited in us which I really believed in, and is the spirit of becoming whatever you choose to become. This is why I try to build around this topic, because it has depth. Apart from the physical way of saying things, whatever you choose to become is what you become. By God's grace, not by man's power. But there are steps and basic things you ought to do. Now, the difference between is that you may not communicate through Western language, probably, in quotes, English, or through paper or pen, but still operate within and around your peers. It depends. Therefore, if you are an elite, see the uneducated as loved ones and not as enemy or slaves, while the uneducated should as well treat the elite as family and not as enemy, because you speak different languages in the same country. I see young guys, both male and female, today, they feel intimidated by this in their environment. It shouldn't be so. Education, to some, it's a privilege, and to others, they don't have the grace. But even at that, I'm here to prove to you today that you can still be a better person in the society based on your choice. It is this perspective to which you see things. You can do greatly we have a lot of people in our society who are not that, learned, but they have the learned ones working for them. That's one mystery about God. We need to accommodate each other. We need to embrace each other. We shouldn't allow or create room for oppressor. We shouldn't oppress ourselves if truly we want to create a better environment. At this juncture, you agree with me that English speaking is a language. Education is a language. But the application of it is what is giving a big problem. Conclusively, without or with education, man can still succeed. That is it on today's show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want me to treat any topic, kindly drop your comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and just share our videos. Till when next I will be on this show, God willing, always remember that it's only the fearless that speak the truth. Bye for now, and God bless.